these things that you should probably call ceremonies, even though it sounds ceremony is a ridiculous word, but it is kind of like you're in a religious experience, and that might be what God is. That experience when you there might be layers and layers to that until you eventually get to God. And I don't know what these people are doing. They're doing this long-term IV drip thing, but I mean, you literally might be opening up some sort of a wormhole to heaven, as bonkers as that sounds.
I know you're going to be one of the first people that'll figure it out, and when you do, please let me tag along.
I will not figure it out, but I will talk to whoever figures it out. That's what I'll do.
Yeah, but if you find the drips, let me know.
I'll let you
save
know.
me a seat for the drips.
100%, bro. We're going to travel together.
Yeah, we did it. We did a bunch of that on that tour, and to this day, if I'm really dealing with something I can't figure out my own, I'll take some shrooms and go to the lake. Like to this day, I just kind of count on that stuff to kind of recalibrate me and set me back where, especially artistically sometimes, or when life's getting overwhelming. There's such a humility and humbling that comes with that. You just realize how much you don't fucking matter, and how much it's not even that you realize shit don't matter. You realize you don't matter.
It's also when your ego gets squashed, you realize your ego is the source of almost all the fear and anxiety, almost all of it. Once your ego gets squashed, which is what the trip does initially, especially, it's like you don't even exist anymore. You're just like, oh, and then you can see things for what they really are. You're like, oh my God, we're a part of this insane soup of molecules that literally goes on forever. And no one understands it. No one understands even the parameters of it. It's all guesswork. It's all these legal pads where these psycho smart dudes are writing down computations, and they're looking at these images that are billions of light years away. I mean, it's all even what our limited ability to observe the known universe, with just the capacity of knowledge that had to be moved all together in synchronicity to create these fucking telescopes. All this shit is insane, and that is just scratching the surface.
Oh yeah,
there's so much out there.
I've went through so many of those wormholes. Recently, I finally got to watch on the bus the other night that Graham Hancock.
Oh yeah,
the Netflix doc.
Oh, it's amazing.
It was insane. I never really scratched it, and I just knew his name. I'd seen clips, and I was like, "Fuck it, we're sitting on the bus stone. Let's just, that's the coolest thing about the bus. We'll sit there and catch up on all that shit."
Graham Hancock is the man. He was one of the first real guests I ever had on the podcast. Yeah, he flew in. We ate pizza, and then we did a podcast together. He had just flown in. He came right to my house. This is when I used to do it in my house. When I had it in one of my spare bedrooms, it was me and Duncan and Graham Hancock. Because I read his first book, Fingerprints of the Gods, in like the 90s sometimes, and everybody was like, that's nonsense. You're into that pseudo-history shit. Right. And I was like, this guy's got like really good points. Like, I think he might be onto something. And his whole like journey from being this guy who was maligned to being a guy who has a Netflix series, and all these archaeologists are complaining, but hey, look what he's doing. He's showing you archaeological evidence, you psychos.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's something to this.
Yeah.
Whatever
it's like the dude that comes in and crushes it and looks, and because he crushes it so much, you realize how much other people wasn't doing their job.
Yeah.
Like when you hire a new tour tech or something, he comes in and kills, you're like, damn, that other dude sucks. I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's why they're mad at him. They're like, oh fuck, we've been blowing it.
Exactly. Yeah, they're all kind of humiliated by this guy who's not an archaeologist, who's discovered this very clear and distinct pattern. And this pattern seems to indicate that civilization is far older than we think it is, and there's likely been some interruptions. We were knocked into the Stone Age. And then when he got together with Randall Carlson, and all of the archaeological evidence lines up with all the evidence of the impacts.
Is Randall the guy that was with him that has the beard?
Yes.
Always has the laptop?
Randall's amazing.
He's the best,
He's the best.
He's
I met
the best.
that dude in Georgia. I was in Atlanta, and I was doing, what was the Funny Bone or the Punchline? The Punchline Atlanta, right? Yeah, it was the Punchline. So I was doing the Punchline, and after the show, this dude came up to me and he was talking to me about asteroid impacts and sacred geometry. I'm like, what the fuck do you do? And me and him had this conversation, and he started talking to me about asteroid impacts, and he was telling me that he thinks that that's what reset civilization. I was like,
how long ago
was
this?
Long time ago. This is a long time ago.
I love the idea of you just being at a bar after a show and the guy's just ramming you
I
about
think this was
fucking
like
asteroids.
2005 or some shit. Yeah, it was a long ass time ago. I'm pretty sure it was pre-podcast when when I first met him. That's me and him.
Yeah.
What is that? Oh, that's like 2007 then.
This is 9.
It says 9?
2009, yeah.
Is that the first time I met him? God, am I off by that many years?
Well, you also,
So I
you know,
must have-
you know how this shit works, though. They might have uploaded this.
No, I think that's correct, though.
time.
It looks right because of my beard, because I grew a beard when Evan Tanner died.
2008, so it was uploaded
2008.
a little bit after.
That's right. Okay.